Many of them, like me, I was in track and field, I played volleyball. We were the top of the physical conditioning heap out of high school and college. And when we joined the military, if we were out of shape, it got you into shape. And so, for the most part, we were at our peak condition, and in the blink of an eye, we became disabled and unable to control our bodies. These same bodies that had been full of vigor and energy and had been used to fly helicopters and command tanks, and these bodies that had been used to rescue people and pull buddies out of harm's way and help civilian populations. These bodies that had responded to everything we'd ever asked of them our entire lives suddenly no longer responded, or were so broken that they were no longer capable of doing the things that we thought they should do. And that has a psychological toll on our wounded, because to go from strength to absolute weakness, I couldn't even scratch my nose, I couldn't move a single part of my body except for my left wrist. To go from commanding a Black Hawk helicopter, as I used to say, strapping that 20,000-pound machine to my back and flying it, to not being able to even roll over in bed, I needed something. And biking was it for me. Because they said, here's the bike, we're going to start you in one that is slightly more recumbent, so that you don't, even though you have lost all the strength in your abs, not that I have them now, but I'm working on that six-pack for bikini season. Even though you no longer have strength in your abs, you can at least still cradle you, and you can start moving your arms. You can do something. And it was from there that I slowly progressed to this bike that you see here, which that entire thing weighs 18 pounds. Wow. Yeah, pretty awesome. And now I've done 3 Chicago marathons, which is amazing. For the first 5 miles you hurt, and then everything is fine, and then when you get to about mile 18, your arms start hurting again, and they hurt really, really bad because you're pedaling with the arms, and that's when the hills start. And at about mile 20, the great thing that happens is that your arms stop hurting because you can no longer feel them. So, you know, and then you just hope you make it all the way to the end. And every year, the Achilles Freedom Team, I belong to two bicycling, they're track clubs, but they do the recumbent bicycling, the hand crank bikes. One is the Achilles Freedom Team, which deals directly with the folks, wounded warriors from around the country, and also people with disabilities. And then also, I belong to the Missing Parts in Freedom Team, Missing Parts in Action Team, excuse me, which is macabre humor, but funny. And we do the Army 10-miler and the Marine Corps Marathon every year. But what's great about it is that for the wounded, when they start doing these marathons, you feel powerful, you feel strong, you are in command again, and you're in control. If your body can do this, you can do anything. And to have that as part of your rehabilitation, to know that I can do this, gets the guys and gals to thinking about what else can they do in their lives, where else can they go. They can ride bikes with their kids again. They can travel and go on trips with their spouses and bring their bikes along, and it's really quite an amazing gift to have. My doctors had wanted me to be in better shape than I'd been before I lost my legs, and this was my avenue forward. You know, it's something I swim a lot, but swimming is hard. You don't always have access to swimming pools. My bike, I can take it anywhere. The airlines have to check it. It's considered a wheelchair. So I can bring my regular wheelchair and my bike. They beat the heck out of it, but you know, you guys have done this too, right? Check your bikes in. But I can go anywhere. And for myself and other wounded veterans, bicycling has represented our commitment to never giving up and striving to do things that might have once seemed impossible. You know, our country today faces many challenges, not the least of which, too many Americans are unhealthy. Too many children suffer from childhood obesity, and too many Americans will see their lives cut short for lack of exercise and good nutrition. While it will not be easy to make this country healthier, I know that it's possible. And I know that it takes the work of everyone in this room promoting this lifestyle. Because were it not for you speaking up at every village hall council meeting about bike lanes, if it were not you showing up to teach kids safe bicycling practices, if it were not you out there grooming the trails and picking garbage up and making sure that paths remain accessible, this entire avenue would not be available to all of us. and especially for those of us who have disabilities. So I encourage you and thank you for doing that. And I encourage you to please continue to do it. But I also ask that as you promote bicycling as a health style, as a lifestyle, as a healthy way to live your life, as a way to not only be fit, but just enjoy your communities and be part of your community, to think of the disabled. So often I have tried to get into bike shops that are in beautiful little historic areas. There's one in Georgetown right now, and they're cute, but they all, because they're in these cute little historic areas, are not wheelchair accessible. And for lack of a $50 plywood temporary ramp that you can slap together and keep next to the door, those 3 steps prevents me from getting into a bike shop. There are many bike paths that only take, you just have to carry your bike a little bit up the hill to get to the bike path, or it's got a turn right at the bottom and you just have to step down over the curb. I can't do that. And those simple things that cost very little bit of money or just a little bit of effort to smooth out part of the path really prevents so many people from participating. Because for those who are disabled, staying healthy is even more difficult. And finding a way to be healthy, finding a way to connect with your family is something that you're always looking to do because you're so often isolated. And biking allows us to do that. I think of it as a leveler in a way. It's a way that we can all be on the same playing field. We can all enjoy the same thing. You're seeing nature. You're commuting together. You all have this shared experience, and you're all on your different bikes trying to get who are participating in this. But there are still barriers, and I ask you to continue to work to fix those barriers. So as we move forward, I would love to answer some questions from the group. I was told that I could do that. And I just want to say again, thank you for promoting lifestyle. Think of those who are disabled. If you've never had a chance to see what disability biking is like, there's all sorts of permutations, and there's all sorts of amazing folks out there who works with bikes. And that's the great thing about bikes is that you just, add on a few more parts and you Rube Goldberg the darn thing until it works for you. And whichever way, whatever configuration you need, you can make it work. And so I see kids with cerebral palsy who can only move part of one arm. I see kids who are blind with riding on a 2-seater with their parents. I see folks like myself who don't have legs, so we use our arms. I've got a dear friend, Melissa Stockwell, who was the first female amputee out of Iraq. She was hit by a rocket propelled, by an IED, and now she's a triathlete. And she's got a bike because she doesn't have her right leg, where she does all of her biking with just the left. And it's quite amazing and totally intimidating because she does it with just the one leg. And so when you go out there and she passes you, I have an excuse. I don't have legs. You guys, you don't have an excuse why a one-legged woman is passing you out there. You just have to deal with that on your own. She's a total stud. But she's now the world triathlete Paralympian. And she would not have gotten into this entire new lifestyle had it not been for those first bikes that we got at Walter Reed that were donated, that cradled us gently in the seat and supported us and let us start to build strength. So thank you for your support. Please, as you enjoy today and you go to bed tonight, say a prayer for our troops who are in harm's way right now, and our troops who are recovering in VA hospitals and military hospitals across this great nation. And if you have an opportunity to work with any of them, please do. Please do. There's so many great resources, and the biggest resources is a willing heart and a helping hand, and I know everyone in this room has that. God bless our troops, and always God bless America.